Okay, beautiful souls. We are in for a real treat today. This is going to be so much fun. We've got Kelly Siegel in the house. He is the CEO of National Technology Management, a leading IT and cybersecurity firm that is becoming the gold standard in the industry. He's also the founder of the Harder Than Life movement. It is an Amazon best-selling book, a top 20 self-improvement podcast, and a rapidly growing coaching community, helping people break through their cycles, leveling up, and taking control of their lives. So, Kelly, thank you so much for being here. I have so been looking forward to this conversation.
Long overdue since we met in Dallas. I don't know, over a little over a year now. So
Mhm.
excited to be here. Thank you for having me. And I just love all things, Christina, all your energy, all of your feelings, the way you make people feel, the way you see people. And I love your show. Honor to be
Mm.
here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is going to be so much fun. And you know where I think you know what I think is so beautiful is the life that you've built is vastly different from how you grew up. Like you were talking about how it was kind of like chaos with how you grew up. And now you protect your peace at all costs. And that's something that I've just deeply admired about you. And I sense that in your energy. Like you're just a peaceful person. And I love that about you. And what does that look like for you when it comes to protecting your peace? Is there something that you do to actually protect your peace? Because I feel like there's a lot of listeners who might not be aware of whether or not they're even doing that or whether they need to do that. So share with us more about that process.
Yeah, Christina, we're growing up I grew up just off of 8 Mile, and the movie that Eminem made famous, 8 Mile, is how we
Mhm.
grew up. I went to high school with him for a year. I grew up 2 streets away from the mother of his child, for
Oh,
my entire life. So I knew them well, and that's how we lived. It was chaos,
yeah.
drama, survival. So when you grow up in that, and that's all you ever know, you end up recreating that. And I did that for 20 some years until I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm.
And that all culminated with me writing my Harder Than Life book, starting the Harder Than Life movement, and just really looked in the mirror and said, I don't like who I am. I don't
Mm.
like what I'm doing, and I need to change. And it started off as a love movement where I
Mm.
kept meeting the other versions of my mother and begging them to love me,
Mhm.
and only for them to leave me, just like my mother. And I said, I got it. This has got to be me, and I was right. So when your nervous systems and all you ever know was chaos, I had to be the one that got off the hamster wheel. You know, if you jump on life's merry-go-round and go round and round and round, and you until you puke. But really, life is meant to be a roller coaster, up down, up down, up down. Because if it's flat, you're dead, and if you go round and round, you'll puke. So I declared war on myself during the pandemic while everybody was day drinking and commiserating.
Uh-huh.
And I wrote the book Harder Than Life, founded the movement, and declared war on myself and said, I want to start loving myself. Really, what I was doing, and I didn't know it till now, is that I was building a new standard for myself. And I really didn't have standards. You know, the big buzzword, boundaries. I think boundary up and be cool. No, no, no. Build a standard, and then everything else will wash away that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
But change is hard. People don't like change. But your life, when living your life the way it is more difficult than change, you're going to change.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, that's the way most people do it. I didn't hit rock bottom. It all started with me just wanting a different life. And I stopped drinking and
Hmm.
started looking within, and I stopped all crutches,
Mm.
scrolling, social media. Actually, I got off social media for a couple of years
Hmm.
and declared war on myself. I now I have a mental mastery and no mental fitness, physical mastery is what I've achieved, and it really starts with just peaceful heart, peaceful mind, and big body of fitness. And all I want to
Mm.
do is help people and just give back and make the world a better place. You'll hear me say, "Together we rise, united we stand, divided we fall." I simply look at people now that I'm healed and I can feel I'm an empath. I feel that's why I love being around you because
Mm.
I feel your positive. I feel your shamanism, the healing powers, and I want more.
Hmm.
So anybody has a chance to be around you, I highly recommend it. Beautiful family, beautiful husband,
Mm.
just beautiful everything. So that's where I'm at now. We just wrote the second book. You can see it here, Happier Than Life. And I literally, it'll be out in a couple of weeks. We're not going to do the official launch till later in the summer, but it'll be available. And it really just tells all the day-to-day things that I'm sure you're going to have me break down that I do to live that peaceful,
Mm.
happy life.
Mm. I love so much of what you were saying, where it was like you noticed that things were out of alignment and you took control of that. Like you were like, you know what? I'm 100% responsible for my reality.
Yeah.
How can I start to shift things? And to shift it, I have to do something different. So, what I was hearing you say was all the things that weren't working for me or felt heavy or just felt like it was just kind of taking me out of my peace, I put those down and I started to go all in on the stuff that made me feel good, which was being around incredible people, stopping scrolling, starting to really amplify your physical fitness and your health and releasing of things that didn't feel good. So I just love that because I think for every person, it will be an individual thing around like, what are the things that light you up the most? What are the things that are taking you out of the things that excite you? Put those down, lean into the things that feel good. And that's how you start to bring in that happier than life
Well,
experience.
remember, things that feel good, that feel fun to do and good to do at the start are usually bad for you long term. Things that
Mm,
that feel terrible to start are usually good for you long term. Nobody ever wants to go to the gym, but you feel good
mm,
after.
mm,
Everybody wants to go out and party with their friends, but they feel terrible after. So
mm,
keep in mind,
mm,
it's taking an inventory of your life, of the things that are working for you, because my life was fun. I
mhm,
was the life of the party,
mhm,
but it just was, there was drama and there was chaos. And I looked in the mirror and was radical ownership and said, I am the common denominator here. Every single time that there's something bad happens, I'm at the center of it.
mhm,
And it happened to be when I'd had alcohol. I wasn't a drunk or even an alcoholic, but there was definitely a correlation between Kelly drinking, Haley having alcohol, and there being a problem happening. And when I
mhm,
drew that correlation and eliminated that, then that alcohol was the symptom, not the disease. The disease was I did not love myself.
mm,
And when I drank, I loved myself, but it was facade. It was fake. It was fake it till you make it. And then there
mhm,
was other people, and like attracts like. And I kept just on that freaking life's merry-go-round, man. And I
mhm.
went, oh, there's got to be something better. And I was right. Six and a
Yes.
half years later, I can create this same fun loop without having a drop of alcohol and any drugs, really
Mm,
anything, just some good old fashioned meditation, journaling, a good workout, good people, good energy.
mm.
And that's all you need.
That's so true. And you're speaking to a previous tequila Tina. So I feel you on that, where it was like, used to be a lot of fun doing that, but I didn't feel good the next day, or I would be like, man, I regret what I just did. And so when I started to tune into what actually would have me feel good long term, those are the things that I started tuning into, not just the short term feel good, but like the long term feel good. Like when I do it consistently, I feel really good. And then I crave those things like working out. Like it feels good to actually get myself outside walking or into the gym. And so it starts to create those powerful habits. And I love what you said too about this beautiful movement that you've created. So I know that a lot of people that are tuning in have an idea on their heart when it comes to some sort of movement they want to create. So how did you actually go about building this movement? Like for someone who's like, where do I even begin? Movement feels huge. Like, what would you say to that person that's like, I've got this on my heart, but where do I start?
Oh, progress over perfection. And I will
Mm,
tell you this, I wasn't very religious or spiritual, but I always knew that there was somebody looking out for me because
mhm,
I was in many near death situations
mhm,
and I somehow always escaped.
mhm,
And I would always escape that real bad doom, like people going to jail. I did do a little bit of stint in jail from college because I
mhm,
just wasn't paying attention to God's signs. Now
mhm,
I know everything was happening for me.
mhm,
My IT business, I was put in the right place at the right time to start it. This movement, this harder than life, happier than life, which we're probably going to call it HTL because it's harder than life, happier than life, then
mhm,
healthier than life. And who knows where we'll go
mhm,
from there. Um, it just started with a me posting during the pandemic
mhm,
positive messages.
Mm,
And then I'm like, and then anything you do, whether it be positive or negative, you get feedback. And if
mhm,
the feedback feels good, if more of it's good than bad, you keep doing it. So
mhm,
again, it's just start. And if it's in alignment, it'll continue to work for you. Now, God tests you. God, source energy, whatever you want to call it, tests you and says, is this really what you want to do? And they'll throw some curveballs at you. And that's the rite of passage. It's
yes.
so mine happened about 14 months into my change, my metamorphosis, my
Mhm,
transmutation, if you will,
mm,
where and I this is where my book starts off. It's my ex-wife and my ex-girlfriend got together and made some cockamamie story up and took my daughter away in the pandemic all at the same time.
mm,
And I keep full bars in my house and was like, am I going to go drink and go throw away the 14 months that I've had? And it was like, nope.
mm,
I looked up at God and I said, you made me. You know
mm,
I'm not going to break. I don't know what you're trying to teach me, but I'm going to pass.
mhm,
And even to this day, I laugh and I go, we're 100, we're batting 100% in life.
mhm,
Everything that was out to destroy you, you've made it
mm,
through it. Everything, or else you wouldn't be here.
mhm,
So I always remember that when things feel like there is absolutely no way out, there is. There is. Just take one step, one foot in front of the other. But you can't have one foot in yesterday. You remember?
mhm.
Yesterday is history. Tomorrow's a mystery. All we have is today.
Ooh.
Today is a gift. So be present. That's what all of this work that we do, our
Mm,
meditation that we started before this, is so we're here. I notice things, Christina, that I would never notice. In the
yeah.
past, when I was a partier, I probably wouldn't have sat and got to know you. And I
Mhm,
ended up meeting everybody in that room. And to this day, most of us are still very dear friends. I mean,
mhm,
Amberly and I speak almost monthly,
mhm,
and she's just a beautiful, beautiful human being. And here I'm on your podcast, and I love it. So you create space. So what used to be party time now is healing, connecting, giving forward time, and it sucks in more people. It vacuums in more people where it used to be negativity. If I cleared any space out, it would vacuum up negativity because my life was negativity. Now vacuums in positivity and
mm,
beautiful humans such as yourself.
mm, mm. I just love this so much. Like the idea of instead of thinking so big, like movement, like take one step, think about like what is your actual physical movement? What's your tiny step? What's your breadcrumb? Like instead of thinking about the whole loaf,
Yeah.
follow the breadcrumbs. Like these little bits and pieces are taking us one step closer. And then it's also for me, I always think about like tune in to the greater mission and how can I do that even on a micro scale today? Like if my mission is to support humanity, support people in just feeling good today, what can I do that might support someone feeling good today? Sending a sweet text, like checking on my people, reaching out on social, like these different like little things that we can do that then it's like exactly as you were saying, it will start to attract more and more and more of that. So I love that snowball effect that you were talking about, that vacuum where it's just calling in, magnetizing in more of the thing that feels good in your life. So I just love that. And, I would love to talk to you about this multi-million-dollar IT company that you've built and how it's massively supporting so many people in that space. And, knowing that so many people are tuning in that are business owners that are wanting to kind of amplify their growth. I would love to talk about your business in like even three different phases, like that ideation phase, the scaling phase, the maintaining phase. So when we think about the ideation phase, the spark, the moment where you're like, I think I'm going to create this, what did it take from you to actually build it, whether it's emotionally, mentally, tactically, to build it from idea to actual business?
Oh, I love telling this story and I don't tell it often enough. I don't know why I didn't write this. There was a little blurb in my Harder Than Life book. And by the way, if anybody emails me, I'll email you an electronic copy of Harder Than Life. It's Kelly at harderthanlife.com. Email it to me, say that I heard you on the podcast, Christina, and I'll email it to you because it's such a fun, easy, quick read. You'll hear all about me.
Love it.
I talk about it, God's timing. God was looking out for me. I was working at a technology company, making great money, six figures, happy as can be, thought I was, killing it. And I was at a golf outing and I got teamed up with this old guy and he was on his phone the entire time. Now, this is 27, 25 years ago. And so, we were in the business before the internet was the internet. So we
Mm-hmm.
sold companies our first ever internet. So this was kind of divine timing. I was on a tee box and this guy's phone is ringing nonstop. I go, what do you do? He's like, well, you work for one company. I'm an independent contractor and I rep 30 companies. So when you have to go and sell only your company, I can give 30 options. And I was like, how much money you make? And he tells me, and the guy it was a super nice guy. And if he listened to this, I'm always grateful because he always looked out for me, got me started in business, helped me do everything, paid it forward. I eventually bought him out.
Nice.
But when I said those first tiny steps, it was here's somebody. Sometimes God does deliver you an angel, and you
Mm.
have to be ready. Not everybody in this world is out to get you. Now, if you believe that, God will keep sending you those because he
Mm.
wants you to freaking change and
Mm-hmm.
believe. And this gentleman was not out to get me. He took a little piece, but helped me.
Mm.
And then I ended up buying him out. So that's what got me to six figures.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just grit, grit. So and basically, I was on a tee box, and he tells me that how much money he makes. I said I can double that, and I was right.
Nice.
And you hit different ceilings in business, and you have to become. I always call it different levels. You meet different devils, and you gotta develop new habits to slay those devils. So for
Nice.
me, it was a one. It was the 100,000, then the 1 million,
Mm-hmm.
then the 3 million, then the 5 million, and then the 10 million mark. Those were where I'm hitting, and I haven't hit the 10 million, but we're on our way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you basically anything that you don't want to do is probably what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what I fought for years, and guys, write this down if you own it. If you're a six figure and you're trying to get to seven, let me give you a cheat code right now.
Mm.
Develop standard operating procedures. And you know what other word for standard operating procedures are standards.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
so funny. What we're going to talk about is
Mm-hmm.
business and personal because to me, when you own a company, they're one and the same. There is no balance.
Mm.
It is equanimity and
Mm-hmm.
everything. You have to be equal parts of mind, body, soul, energy. And I was always out of balance of one of them. And when
Mm.
you're out of balance one, it throws the whole stinking thing off.
Yeah.
So uh, uh, the number one thing I recommend is, especially in today's world with AI, is write everything down that you do. And then there's those four
Yes.
quadrants. The upper right quadrant is what you want to stay doing. That's
Mm-hmm.
the things that you're good at and that you love doing that fire you up. The lower
Mm-hmm.
left, the things that you stink at and you hate doing.
Mm.
Got to outsource all that. Do
Yes.
not do any. You take what is it? I think it's 25% of your month of your hourly income. Everything below that you outsource.
Mm.
And I'm telling you, with today, through Upwork, through Fiverr, through overseas everything, you can
Yes.
outsource so many things, but it has to be written down because you
Mm-hmm.
can't teach somebody something that you haven't even taught yourself.
Mm.
So, and there's through AI, you can literally open your phone,
Mm-hmm.
hit ChatGPT, hit the microphone, and say, here's how I record a podcast, here's how I edit it, and here's how I get it posted. Build me the standard operating procedure for it. Boom, done like that. You
Yes.
take
Yes.
that, drop it in
Mm-hmm.
a thing, and you send it overseas to have somebody do it for you. You have a VA do it for you. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, it's that simple. If you guys email me, I will show you how to do any of this stuff.
Mm.
As you can tell, I love sharing. I love giving it away
Mm-hmm.
because it's most won't. I
Mm-hmm.
will. I literally say this over and over and over again. Building this body every single day. Most won't. I will. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
keep going. So document, document, document. And you talked about having a clear vision.
Mm-hmm.
And this works in your personal life and your professional life. I recommend having a 10-year goal, then a
Yeah.
3-year goal, and a 1-year goal. And they all kind of roll together. So your
Yeah.
10 years kind of your horizon. You're like, this is where we're headed. And then we break it down in 3 years, 1 year, and then all the way down to your quarters. So the quarters lead to your 1-year goal. Your 1-year goal leads to your 3-year goal, and your 3-year goal gets your 10-year goal. That's in everything in life. It works over and over and over.
Mm.
And the number one best advice I can give people is say no, no, more. Say that
Mm,
a lot more. I said yes to everything and I still say yes to everything. And I end up getting down these rabbit holes and of people that just want to suck the life out of me. And I want to pay forward, but I get
mhm,
stuck. So
mhm,
say
mhm.
no more, document everything, and outsource as much as you can. And
Yes.
and guys, business embrace AI automation right now. And AI is not just ChatGPT, people. There's so many other things that you can do with AI now. The new thing coming out is the AI phone calls. It's coming, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm. What are some of the other tools that you use in AI that you have found to be most supportive in your business, just out of curiosity?
Well, I'm addicted to the automation. So since
Mm-hmm.
I literally took engineers out of my day-to-day practice and made and formed an automation team.
Nice.
And we threw 7 massive tasks at them for this quarter to
Mm-hmm.
get to our quarterly goals that are going to meet our 1 year goals. And we said, here's the 7 things that we want to automate.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was like impossible. We said we want to take our controller position, who does
Mm-hmm.
everything in the company, and
Mm-hmm.
and automate 80% of it.
Mm-hmm.
They thought I was crazy. All of a sudden, AR/AP is automated. All shutting off services if you don't pay is automated. Turning them back on is automated. All
Mm.
billing is automated. All ordering is automated. It's wild what you can
Yes.
do. So to purchase IT, we can do it in 10 seconds now. You don't have to talk to a sales rep.
Mm-hmm.
We are revolutionizing the way that cybersecurity and IT is purchased, sold, and really installed. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't. I built a company that I want to do business with. Now,
Mm-hmm.
here's a newsflash, Christina. I'm not an IT guy. I'm an end user. So we all
Mm-hmm.
work every day, and our computer freezes up or won't work, or some program isn't working, and we can't click on this. We can't bold in Word. Something's not working. Our email doesn't flush. We lost an email. I make it so our company, National Technology Management, makes sure you don't have any of those problems. And if you
Oh,
do, we'll have them fixed faster than anybody on the planet. And we have a whole process and a whole system and a standard that we
yes.
that we that we manage by. So then when we have these standards, we're constantly looking at how do we automate more. So I'll give
Mm.
you a for instance, and I can give you one for anything. If you tell me anything, I can pretty much will figure out a way to automate it. And people are like, that won't work. It works, and I can show you where it's working. So I'll give you an automation that we're doing in IT that everybody understands. So we hear all about ransomware and how you got to worry about giving the threat actors getting in your email and getting your passwords and getting your bank account. So a lot of times these threat actors do it so slick. They'll look like it's Microsoft. You'll look like you're putting your password in. Next thing you know, Jed's a millionaire and they're in your account and they're doing bad things. Now, most of the time, what they want to do is they just want to watch for a while so they can see what kind of a person you are and how they can maximize what they can steal from you.
Mm.
And they're also looking for double ransomware. So the people that are out there living out of alignment, the ones that are married, that have girlfriends and wives, or I'm sorry, girlfriends on
Mm.
the side,
Mhm.
or boyfriends on the side, they look for that so they can double extort you. Then they go in and they try to get your account numbers. They try to change so you get where you're getting BCH'd, and then they come back and say, guess what? We have pictures of your girlfriend, and we're gonna let your wife know. So let's just say somebody clicks on something, puts their password in, they think that everything is working correctly, the threat actor's in. Our alarms go off. We see it.
Mm.
And used to be we'd have to go through and reset all their passwords and rebuild their account and do it. It took 6 hours. Well, now that
Nice.
process takes 60 seconds because
Oh my
we've
gosh.
automated it through an AI tool.
Yes.
So, what was 6 hours, you couldn't have access to any of your accounts for 6 hours. And this is the industry normal. Now,
Mm-hmm.
some people go, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just reset your password and you're good to go." No, 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 no. There's the threat actors are smart. They know exactly how to get around that.
Mm-hmm.
They're already in there. They watch your keystrokes and they watch you change your password. And it's like, so we
Mm-hmm.
automated it 60 seconds. All of your
Wow.
passwords, everything is changed. It's wild what we do. Take it
Yeah.
over to the coaching. You message me, We have a fully trained AI bot that sounds just like me. We say it's not me, and it can walk them through and sign them up for the coaching all the way
Mhm.
through to the one-on-one, all the way through to book
Mm.
without me ever touching it. All AI. And it's
Um,
meticulously programmed to
mhm.
answer just like me because
Mm.
I literally programmed it with all of my podcasts, both of my books. I have programmed it exactly with who I am as a person. And it's Alex Ramosi always says, you want better outputs, spend a lot more time on your inputs. So
Mm.
I've built this over years. So this isn't
Mhm.
just, oh, I just threw this up here and I'm masquerading as me. So that's just a couple of little things.
Mhm.
Again, just to bring it back to everybody else, if you're not using Chat GPT or Grok, start using it today and use it for some of the menial tasks that 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 you do every single day. You'll be amazed how much it will help you.
Oh my gosh, I love this so much because I'm hearing you say, like, really tune into vision and start to automate everything else or hand off everything else, whether it's to a person in the Philippines or someone overseas or through AI or automating. Like, there's so much here that allows us to actually scale more quickly. And I think a lot of people that I've noticed that are stuck at, let's say, the six figures or multiple sixes, they're like, if I want to make it to seven, do I have to 10x my output? And it's like, no, not at
No,
all, because that's not
no.
even possible. What you get to do is just be more streamlined when it comes to processes and how things are done. Take a look at it, create those SOPs so you can easily hand it off to someone who can do it probably better than you. That's what I'm noticing with my VA. I'm like, dang, she does this so much better than I did. Like, I'm so happy she's in here doing her zone of genius. It's amazing.
What you'll see if you're six figures going to seven, what you'll see is 80% of your revenue is coming from 20% of your customers. So you're going to want to
Mm.
go and look at those 20% and see where the common ad is and go find more of those and get
Mm.
rid of the 80% and stop because the 80% that is, or I'm sorry, the 20% of your revenue or 80% of your revenue is coming from 20% of your customers. The reciprocal 80% are giving you all of your problems. You get
Yeah,
rid of those, you get rid
interesting.
of all your problems and you keep majority of your revenue.
Yeah.
So it's
Ooh,
really that's
smart.
just it's 10x is easier than 2x. If you haven't read that book, it's literally what it is. It's Dan Martell's Buy Back Your Time. Guys, how I've done this. A, I've done it. B, I've read every business book known to me. I'm reading Craig Ballantyne's book right now, The Dark Side of Discipline, and then Unstoppable.
Mhm.
And it's funny because we all are borrowing from each other. I did this
Mhm.
10 disciplines mastermind, and I'm reading Craig's stuff, and I'm like, oh, they got all this from Craig. So
Mhm.
what I'm
Mhm.
teaching you, what I'm giving you, I've learned not from one place, not only from just doing it, from multiple books, multiple interviews, multiple podcasts. This stuff works. Here's another secret code. If you don't understand mindfulness and mindset,
Mhm.
open Chat GPT right now and it's asking it therapeutic questions. Because
Mhm. Mhm.
the one thing I wish I would have done, which I'm sure is a question you would have asked me, but the one thing I wish I would have done is started working on my mind sooner.
Mhm.
Because when I started working, looking within and realizing that I'm everything between my head was the issue, it's what made us successful, but it's also what was keeping us a little. I was the bottleneck.
Mhm.
Since I've recently released a lot of it, delegated and elevated a lot of things, all of a sudden we're hockey sticking at National Technology Management. And that's when all of the breakthroughs happen. I'm good, but I can't be everywhere at once.
Right.
And so the quicker you start working on your mind, you become a better husband, a better wife, a better leader, a better human. And what you can just go into ChatGPT and just say, literally, I'm scrolling too much. What is I watch porn too much.
Mhm.
And I'm just saying that the common things that we hear that
Mhm.
I hear in my coaching community. And
Mhm.
it's amazing how we just get in that doom loop and
Right.
we don't even realize that it's sabotaging us. Now we know what alcohol and cannabis and cheating does, but there's other things that we do every single day that
Mhm.
are holding us back that we don't realize it. Once you stop doing that, and the number one thing besides working on your mind is to hire an assistant. I don't,
Yes.
if you're making six figures, you can afford a VA. Do it
Mhm.
today.
Yes.
You will thank me later.
Hmm.
I started making lists of things that just sucked the life out of me.
Hmm.
And when I realized email, I can't stand email. Can't stand it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
even though I was telling everybody email me, we do watch that email, and we have AI where it just when they send book, it'll send them the book and just says
Hmm.
thank you very much for reaching out. And if they have any other questions, my assistant will catch it and schedule time to meet with me.
Mm.
I still like
Oh,
giving back. I still like but I have to rest and recharge. But I
of
live a
course.
very intentional life to rest and recharge and reload and be ready to bring my A game the next day.
Hmm. Absolutely. We have to fill ourselves up to serve to the capacity we want to. So having those automated systems, exactly as you said, game changer. And like you were saying too, working on your mind, it's huge. The mindset that we have around business success, whether it's possible for us, all of those things, our mindset matters more than we even know. And a lot of times people will just teach business strategy. And I'm such a huge proponent for like what's happening in the inner dialogue, because that's going to be blocking your next level version of success too. Let's unpack that. Let's heal it. Let's move it.
Yeah, we start
So,
a lot. I start a lot of my coaching clients out with the physical
mhm,
mastery first, just to
mm,
get them. I always say this: look good, feel good, do good.
mhm,
So I get them to the gym, I get them working out, I get them feel, and then they inevitably ask, "What else do you do?" And I start talking about the mindset, and
mm,
they're like, "Wait a minute, I hired you to do business coaching." It's like, I laugh because I say, It's like the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi. All of a
mhm,
sudden,
mm.
they see that their business increases, and we haven't even talked business yet. And
Exactly.
then when they're ready and open-minded, we say, "All right, let's jump in." Now I can hit some easy ones like hiring an assistant and
Mhm,
do SOPs and start documenting and implement a 10 and 3 year and a 1 year plan. Those are
mhm.
simple low-hanging fruit. But
Yes.
to 10x,
Mhm.
gonna be here. And it's gonna be here.
Yes.
You're gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna have to get physical mastery and mental fitness.
Mhm. Mm. So good. So good. So let's talk about your podcast. So it's Harder Than Life. So if you're tuning in and you haven't heard it yet, you have to tune in. Harder Than Life. It's incredible. You've got incredible guests in the space and you're so real and raw and honest and
Thank you.
vulnerable. And I love it because there's tactics and also you can feel your heart when you're speaking in the space. You just let it like your truth just be seen. And I love it. And so, you've built this, it's now a top 20 podcast worldwide. And there's a lot of people who are tuning in that are just starting a podcast or they've got a podcast, they want to grow it. What did that look like? Or what do you think supported you most in scaling to that space that you're in now?
I'm sure everybody's heard this. Failure is feedback. I'm on my fourth podcast company now.
Hmm.
The one I hired and I fired him right away. Like I lost five figures right off the bat.
Yeah.
And it was I knew, thank God I did that because the
Yeah.
night before launch, I said, hold off. And then I never heard from them again. Like they never even called, like, hey, you ready to launch? Nothing.
Yeah.
So that was the right. They weren't. I could tell they weren't ready. Then I hired another company, and it got me hooked. But
Hmm.
if there's any doubt that God sourced universe is looking out for you, so the last event that I saw you at, I just ran into to Chris
Hmm.
at an event in Philadelphia,
Hmm.
and we literally hit it off right away. And he introduced me to my now producer who produces Ed Milet's show. He
Mm.
produces two shows, Ed's and mine. And it was
Amazing.
just a fluke that he just looked at me and he goes, I want to work with you. I was
Nice.
like, yeah, right. Sure.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I had created space. I was in the right room at the right time and I was the right person. And he doesn't take on anybody else, doesn't want anybody else.
Hmm.
And we have hit a lick. We've pulled it back and revamped a lot of things.
Hmm.
And then now we're going gangbusters. And we joke with Ed a lot and said, I'm coming for your spot, buddy. And he's like, I'd
Nice.
gladly give it up to you. And
I love
that's
it.
paying it forward. That is a
Yeah.
good dude. And it's just a servant leadership. It's servant everything. They just constantly paying it forward.
Mm.
And he is who he claims he is. I am who I claim I am. And we just go out and just do the best we possibly can to
Mm.
entertain and educate, inspire, and really just model the behaviors of winning. And
Yeah.
it's in all aspects of life, Christina. You've
Mhm.
seen me.
Mhm.
I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal.
Mhm.
I've been listening a lot more. I know I talk like a crazy man on this show, but God gave you two ears and one mouth for a reason. So I
Mhm.
listen a lot more. I think that you, from year to year, you saw that I was much more calm, much more relaxed. I give people space to share with me. And yeah, the podcast is, we've now done Thursday podcasts, which are, little known. There's kind of a lot of behind the scenes coaching of what I
Mhm.
do. I give away a lot of the secrets on Thursdays. Right
Mhm.
now, we're in smack dab. If any of your audience really wants to get real good business advice for free, listen to our Thursday shows. I break everything down. This
Mhm.
entire month of May, we have been giving away all the secrets. Next month, we're going to do all the mental and physical mastery, which is
Mhm.
kind of in the happier than life. But it's all free. I just put it out there for free. And if they want to work with me one on one, I um I make it very affordable because it's all for charity that we're giving this stuff away.
Mm. Mm.
And
You know,
again, you asked me way earlier, I, things just kept happening.
yeah.
I was during the pandemic working out, and I got the wise idea to write a book, Harder Than Life. I wrote the book. Handed it to the publisher. Publisher goes, "What are you going to do with this?" And I said, "I'm going to hand it out to my customers." That's all I was going to do. It went
Mhm.
bestseller. I didn't know. He's like,
Mhm.
"You have got to start a podcast." Like, sounds difficult, and started a podcast. Loved it. Got to meet
Mhm.
all these beautiful people. Now it's going to the next level. I
Mhm.
ended up running into Dan Martell. Dan's like, "Why aren't you coaching?" Like, I just don't really want to. He's like, "You're natural born for it." So I launched coaching. It takes off. I pulled
Yeah.
it back. It took off again. I pulled it back again because what we do is we keep refining it. So people
Mhm.
think, "Oh, I failed." No, 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 no. When you started off the next time, you started from experience. What was it?
Mhm.
Edison figured out 10,000 ways to not freaking
Yes.
make the
Yes.
light bulb.
Uh-huh.
Keep going. You'll get there one step at a time. And, sooner or later, we'll get to number one. The one thing about us is I don't take any shortcuts. We
Mhm.
haven't never bought any downloads. We don't buy followers.
Mhm.
We've earned every stripe. Every one of these wrinkles have been earned.
Right? Yeah, love it. Oh, I just love this so much because the thing that I'm hearing you say above all of this is like God is guiding you. It's like there's something so much bigger that's happening, but you're following the intuitive pings. So it takes action, inspired action on behalf of the person receiving the intuitive pings. Like I don't know why, but I need to be in this room. You meet the person and then you take the action based on what you are feeling in alignment with. And I think that's so important. That's actually how I met Amberly. Was at an event that made no sense that I shouldn't even be at. It was like a real estate event. In walks a shaman. I'm like, why am I here? But I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like I need to be in the room. We ran into each other in the hallway and it was just like love at first sight. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to know you and support you. And she was the same. And so it's like to be in these rooms, even when they don't make sense, follow the pings. There's always something there for us.
Let's flip that on its head.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thoughts are magical eyes
Mm,
because we were taught, or we learned survival mechanisms, and we were rewarded for most of those survival mechanisms as children.
mm,
So I like the fear definition of false evidence appearing real.
mm,
So for the longest time, the reason why it's called harder than life is because I thought you had to be harder than life. And I
mm,
lived that for years and years and years until I hit another ceiling. And I
mm,
work with our mutual friend through Amberly, Rudy Ricksteins, and Rudy's like, "Hey, things can be easy."
mm,
Like, what do you mean it could be easy? And he starts
mm,
naming off things, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you're right. Look at how
mm,
this is," and that's why I named the next book Happier Than Life. So I had to reprogram my mind because growing up physically and emotionally abused and not safety, I thought the
mm,
only thing you did is you hit everything with all your might, worked harder, grind harder, and
mm.
plowed through it, and no matter what adversity come, you were going to win. And I was right until I got exhausted and I
Yeah.
burned myself out and ended up getting sick all the darn time. And I
Mm,
realized, ooh, everything is energy. So if I'm going to meet everything with force, resistance and
mm,
resistance, I'm
mm.
creating a wall.
Yeah.
So you got to allow. And what's meant for you will find you and will
Mm-hmm.
align you and will guide you. If you're not spiritual, just know that everything is energy,
Hmm.
and like attracts like, and like energy combines and goes forward. But you want to go further, go together. You want to go fast, go alone. But
Mm.
I'm learning right now how to let go of control. Because here's
Yeah.
a newsflash. The illusion of control is an illusion.
Hmm.
I used to think, oh, the harder I work, the more money I make. Well, that was true, but then you're going to reach a ceiling.
Hmm.
So you still have to work hard, but if you work hard, smart with a plan, and then just allow, and you put that intention out there, we've all seen The Secret,
Hmm.
we're chasing a feeling, and you can
Hmm.
create that feeling. And you ever met somebody out like we met, and we're just
Hmm.
like, I just like that person. That's because your
Hmm.
energy was in alignment. So if you can
Hmm.
create that energy, you'll attract more of it. So if I think life is easy and abundant, you're going to attract more of that, and you're going to
Hmm.
push away negativity and lack and fear.
Hmm.
It just
Mm.
doesn't, it cannot combine. There's no energy for that.
So true. So just let that sink in for those that are tuning in. And, I love that you wrote this now, new rendition, happier than life. Like for the person who wants to get their hands on this, that are like, I want to be happier than life. Like, tell me more. How can they do that? How can they start to lean in and get their hands on this beautiful, beautiful book?
The funny thing about it is everything that I guess spoiler alert, every single thing that we do is out there. You could
Hmm.
go ask ChatGPT, what are the things that I could do to be happier than life? And
Hmm.
it'll tell you the same thing.
Hmm.
Exercise, reading, say no to more people, examine your circle,
Hmm.
meditate, journal, eat right, get good sleep, drink water.
Hmm.
When I was a kid, it was wrestling. It was Hulk Hogan saying, "Eat, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, work out."
Nice.
And
Yeah.
now and that's what I do is I break it down in a simple, easy platform. It's a blueprint. That's just what I do every single day. Now I take things to the extreme because I always think, heck, if I 10x my input, can I get 100x on the back end? It doesn't work that way. I
Hmm.
wish it
Hmm.
did. If you
Hmm.
double your input, you should be able to double your output. Doesn't work that way.
Hmm.
If you 10x something, you may get 1.5 times more. Your 10x your input, you usually get 1.5 the output. Just that whole funnel is kind of funny how it works, but I like pushing the envelope because I like being a little bit weird. I'm going to be 50 this year. I'm doing 500 workouts. I just did
Dang.
workout 212 today. I asked ChatGPT. I said, based on I'm 212. How will I end in the year? He said, you'll end up with 579. Keep going. It's like
Nice. I love how like it like inspires me every time I talk to it. It's like you're doing great,
the
sweetie.
funniest thing in the world.
Like,
I'm always like, please and thank you. Like I can't
uh-huh.
not be polite. And it's like, if
Same.
people, my IT guys are looking at me like, you don't have to thank it. You don't have to say
I
please.
do though. I'm like, but it's so nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. It's life is this is a great time to be alive. A lot of people are afraid of what's happening, and
Mm.
there's going to be some change. If you're afraid of change, you should be absolutely terrified of staying the same, though, literally, because this is an exciting time. We are
Mhm.
going to be able to do more things than we've ever thought was humanly possible. Impossible is now going to be the new hard.
Mm.
Easy is gone, and hard is pretty much going to be easy.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
it, but we're going to work a lot, unfortunately. And you're always working, but you're going to have things, automation systems that you're going to have to follow.
Hmm. Yeah, adding in the automation. And then to your point earlier, it's about almost reframing what we think has to be hard and like, can it be easier? You know?
And it can. I'm
Uh-huh.
newsflash. I My dad used to say to me, if it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. What kind of luck do you think my dad had? Always
Hmm.
attracted bad luck. He
Hmm.
did.
Yeah.
Well, he was also a drunk and a drug addict. He's
Hmm.
since passed away many years ago. I've worked through that. That's what happens,
Hmm.
So I followed right in the footsteps, and then I believed I had no luck. Well, you know what I believe now? I have nothing but good luck because I meet fabulous people like you and Amberly
Mm,
and Chris,
mhm.
and just the list goes on and on and on and on and on because I give and I
Yeah.
expect positive, beautiful things to happen. And I know that if it doesn't, it's God pointing me in another direction. Hey, not right now. I still got more stuff for you to learn. And I tell people ask a lot of what questions. What am I supposed to learn? Not why is this happening to me?
Mm,
What more do I need to do? What should I be doing right now? And a lot of times, if you just get quiet, I talk about this in my book, Happy in Life. Stillness, solitude, and silence.
mhm,
That's where everything in life, all your answers lie.
mm,
And most people can't do them at all.
mhm,
Stillness. When is the last time you just sat there and did
mhm,
nothing? When were you? If you can do all three alone, it's Superman and
mhm,
Superwoman.
mhm.
Stillness. I be still, be silent, and be alone. I
Yeah.
do it for 10 minutes every single day. It starts with my. That's how I start my day.
Mhm,
And when I really need to get quiet, I do it again and again and again and again. But being alone, misery loves company,
mhm,
but hates being alone. So be careful
mhm,
who you're with.
mhm.
So I want to be around more people like you that are creating, like Chris that are creating.
Hmm. Absolutely. I completely agree. So powerful. I absolutely love every single thing that you brought up today. I am positive that people are going to want to connect with you and lean in even more deeply with every single thing that you do. So, how can they find you? What's the best way to start to lean in and get more of Kelly?
Yeah, my platform is Instagram, so it's kelly.siegel.71. Follow me over there. And, like I said, email me, Kelly at harderthanlife.com, and I will send you the electronic version of the Harder Than Life book. There's all kinds of ways to get newsletters, to get updates of what we're doing. We have signed with a PR firm, so we're going to do a lot more speaking engagements. You're going to see me everywhere on TV. I just love sharing. I love everybody and I
Mm,
just want to give back to this world and make it a better place. You started off saying I'm the one that broke the chains of my family. So
mhm,
I'm going to be the one to try to lead this movement of being together and we're in this together and realizing that just because someone's it sits on another side of the aisle that they're not your enemy. They
mhm,
just look at things a little differently. Let's see what we have in common and
mhm,
work our way out from there. We start at our differences, and it's insane. We guys got to remember we need both sides to level
mhm,
off that airplane. You need both wings.
mm,
So, again, together we rise. So, I just keep loving and setting the example and setting the model. And you're not going to see all of a sudden some thing break where he drinks alcohol or he takes steroids or he just that's just not going to happen. My standards are too darn high and they're absolutely non-negotiable.
mm. I just love it. And I love you, Kelly. Thank you
I
so
adore you too. I
much.
love me some
Ugh,
Christina. I just
ugh.
you're beautiful inside and out. Obviously, you're raising a beautiful family, and it's just you are the real deal. That's why we connect.
Mhm,
So I highly suggest everybody follow you if they can work with you.
mhm,
I would love to do some more of the healing work with you because I think we can
mhm.
always heal.
Yes.
It's always there's more because I know I'm going through this control thing right now where I'm getting comfortable relinquishing control because when I was a kid I felt like I had to have some sort of
Mhm,
control. It was the only thing that helped me survive the abusive household. So I took
mhm,
that on till I got a lot of success and realized that now I have to unlearn that
mhm,
and when I unlearn that, there'll be another level.
mhm,
That's what living is. That's
mhm,
literally who you become on the journey. It isn't, at some point when we're the number one podcaster and the Heart of Life is a big brand and everybody's we're gonna how many people can we help? How many
mhm,
charities are we donating to? I was just
mhm,
on the phone. We're donating a bunch of IT services to another charity. I love doing that. I love donating time over money. We do donate a
mhm,
lot of money, but I like time
mhm,
and our knowledge because there's a lot of there are nefarious people out there. And with this world, if you've ever been around a drowning person, they'll try to drown you. So you got to be
mhm,
very, very careful as people that try to cut corners, as you're seeing in our personal development space, a lot of people getting indicted.
Mm,
Be sure that if you're going to work with somebody, there are people like Christina or
mm,
myself or Chris Patterson or Amber Lee
mm,
that you can just look at their history of success and
mm.
that they're in alignment. I heard Tim Story told me this once, and I got to start telling it's Tim's story. I love him to death. He says, Kelly, look at people's tongues on their shoes, not their tongues in their mouth. So make sure their shoes are going in the direction that their tongue is flapping at. And I was like, yeah, that's the
Mm,
best story I ever heard. Love him to death.
mhm.
So
Mm. That
pass
was a
that
good
on to
impression, by
everybody.
the way. That was a good impression. I love it. Yes. So true. Are you actually acting on what you're saying and embodying that is so important. And we can use our intuition to really tune into people's energy and say, like, is this person the real deal? Or what I do too, when I'm leaning into a new healer, I ask people that have worked with that person, what was it like to work with them? You know what I mean? I think that's important too.
Can I turn
So,
this around and ask you another question? Can you
yeah.
feel, where do you feel someone's energy when
Mm.
it's off? Or you can be positive, like when you run into me all the time. Where do
Mhm.
you feel the positive energy? Where do you feel the negative energy? How do you know? The people call it the intuition. Trust
Mhm.
your intuition.
Mhm.
Sometimes it gets a little wonky where if somebody's in a situation that's just familiar,
Mm.
even though because my life was chaos, like you cannot scare me. There could be guns out, and I'm like, I grew up that way. So you're
Mm.
not gonna. I don't feel like I'm in danger, but
Mhm.
some
Of
people will be like, oh my god, gone.
course.
Where do
Yeah.
you feel energy? People want to hear this. Where do you
Mm.
feel good and or positive energy and negative being not for you?
Yeah. So for me, it feels like expansive energy. Like I want to lean in. Like there's someone in front of me where I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just want to like, I feel like I know you. I feel like I've known you. There's something about me that wants to lean in. Like there, it just feels expanded. I feel excited.
Expansive.
I feel connected.
I would say the opposite. I would say contractive because I'm
Interesting.
pulling you to. I feel like
I
we're
love this.
pulling together.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
want to just reach. Like if it wasn't weird, I would have just. I did hug you. I would. I just like. I want to reach out and hug. Like come here.
Yeah.
I want your energy.
Uh-huh.
And then if
Yes.
it's negative, I just. You see me just. You'll see me disappear. Is that what you do
Mhm.
too?
Yeah, usually like if it's just not the vibe, I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and then just
Yep.
never come back,
Bathroom.
you know? Yeah,
Used to be
yeah,
the bar for me. I'd be like, "Where's the bar?" Now
uh-huh,
it's. I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta go.
uh-huh. Exactly. I know. And I love it. So for every person, their intuition will feel different. So I love that you're like, no, I feel like this like connected energy. And that to me feels like it's like pulling towards me. So for me, in my body, when I just feel like negative energy, I feel like part of me contract. Like I got a text today and I remember like immediately when it popped up, just feeling like tightness in my chest. And I was like, I don't know that I even want to read this, but I'm going to read it. And I read it, it's super long. And I'm like, that just doesn't feel like my truth. Like it just felt tight in my chest, kind of like a sinking feeling in my stomach. And then I was like, oh, my body's telling me that even if that's their truth, it doesn't have to be mine. So I'm just going
Right.
to say, like, thank you, sending you so much love, and just moving on, you know? And so
That
that's
feels so
exactly what
good,
I
doesn't it?
did.
That if it
Yeah.
once you get to that point of peace,
Yeah.
man, it is it becomes dangerous because
Hmm.
nothing can rattle you. It was a Vincent Lacari talks about it. He says being unfuckwithable.
Hmm.
Like,
Yes.
wow, like that's a different level of stoicism, of just
Hmm.
peace, and what is the word? Healed,
Yeah.
healed.
Hmm.
And when you can question those and realize, oh, that's mine. That's
Hmm.
so when you can own your trigger and realize, you know what? That was a childhood trigger coming up,
Hmm.
and that's false evidence appearing real. I'm
Yes.
safe here. Let's proceed.
Hmm. Mm.
That's when you get really, really good. That's some next level, which I know that you've reached.
Well, we're always reaching for next level, even on top of the level we've reached. I mean, my healer will always be on retainer. So I'm like, there's always more. Let's unpack this one, you know. And what I love about having a healer is she sees things from like the highest perspective. Like when we're in our trigger, sometimes it feels like we can't see it as broad as it could be. And so I love inviting like an unbiased person that can see it from like the 300,000 foot view and share their perspective versus when I'm in it, it's hard for me to see the bigger perspective. So to have that mirror and for someone who actually has the healing modalities to move the energy, oh, it's a game
You
changer.
write that down in your phone when it's happening or in your journal or something?
So what's cool is, and I do this with my clients too, is I'll voice note her when I'm experiencing a trigger and then we'll move through it. And I do this with my clients too, because I'm like, we don't have to wait till Tuesday to unpack this. Like if we just met on Tuesday and you have a trigger on Tuesday night or Wednesday, drop into the voice notes. Let's move this. And I find that to be so powerful and supportive because like we have to keep moving with the energy and like let's unpack it in real time versus sitting in it and having it sit there for a week. So voice
Yeah,
noting is
there's
really powerful, but different modalities help me move it as well.
I will remind people that sitting in your shit is healthy. There is, because most of us run from it so bad. It's almost like you're supposed to sit in it a little bit
Oh, for
so
sure.
you can understand and realize you're not going to die. And
Yes.
by the time it takes you to get a drink, pop a pill, or do whatever you normally do to get through it, you could have moved that energy. And Christina can teach you how. Happier Than Life can teach you how. Good
Hmm.
standards, good habits, good rituals will get
Hmm.
you out of it and before anything else will. And
Hmm.
will heal it permanently or more than
Yes.
likely keep it at bay a lot more. So,
Mm-hmm.
guys, that's I love that part of it, Christina. If you took nothing, understand that your triggers are your responsibility, and that's literally the green flag of where you should be working at. If something's constantly pissing you off
Hmm.
or setting you off, boom, there's your
Hmm.
therapy.
It's, yeah, the triggers are the guides. They're
Mm.
guiding you to your next level. So powerful. Kelly, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom in this
Feel feel
space, your
feel like we
humor.
were
Just,
all over the place. Like
I
we
loved
got
it. I
everything.
loved it. Yeah, it was perfect. It was divine and it was exactly what was meant to come through. So thank you so much for
Thanks
just
for having
sharing.
me, and we'll run it back on our podcast very soon. We're trying to figure out when to get you on there.
Love it. It's going to be so fun. So,
Yes.
for everyone that tuned in, thank you so much for giving us your most precious resource, your time. We are eternally grateful for you. And until next time.